The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're sitting, to all of you. A warmest welcome to this webinar about the DL60 LED, our downlight family, the family of 5 as we have called it. I'm so happy to have with me Mr. Ole Hoem, who you might even see on his webcam. You possibly also to see myself, Robert Svensson. If there is a challenge to see us, there might be some logistics in your PC that can be overcome by pressing webcams and then hide and then show again. So if you cannot see us, that could be the trick that could do it. Of course, optional. This webinar will go on for approximately 30 minutes or so. We will do questions and answers as we go along. So please type in a chat to myself or type in questions, and then we will take the most important questions that have been written in the end. So the Q&A section is based on your questions that comes into me in writing, and then we will reply individually, or we will even take them up in the plenum for all of you. DL60 Downlight family had its first full year for us last year in 2014. It was a fantastic success. We sold much more than we expected, and this year has started up with 40% higher than last year at the same time. So we are very pleased now to collect it all together, the family of 5, and to run through with you all the history and all the latest news. I think even we have at the moment now already 500 different article numbers made up for this extensive family. So please, this webinar is recorded. You will get afterwards a link to a stream that you can see it again, or you can share it with a colleague. We'll do it also tomorrow morning. If you have colleagues that wants to see it live at 9 o'clock, just let us know and we will send them the link. Then we, as I said, take questions and answers as we go along in writing, and we will either reply them directly or afterwards. So then, Ole, it's all yours. Please take us through, and we will follow it with a large interest.
Okay, thank you, Robert. This was a nice introduction. As I stated, this has been a success. We are selling more than expected, and even more increasing also. So a lot of new orders coming in. The DL60 Downlight family is now made by 5 different members. So we started with 2, and we are now in 5 different designs. So what you see here is the different variants we have. You see 5 different variants. The things on the left here is what is replacing the old halogen versions we had with downlights earlier. And at the right side, you have what is replacing the fluorescent compact tubes. So that means that we have a member that is R108 that we have launched, is the adjustable. It has from 500 up to 900 lumen light output. Cutout is for R108, is a similar cutout as an old DL100 downlights we had from Høvik. So that's also an alternative for retrofit. Then we have the R92 with 5700 lumen, and R92 high one version for very thick ceilings. I will go back to the details after when we're coming into the presentation. Then we have for the fluorescent the DL60 RF That means as a low version, that is the same as the height as the Casa Marine H70. That fits ceiling with low heights over the ceiling plates. That has a combination from 800 up to 2100 lumen. That means from 18 watt compact tube up to 2 times 18 watts light output, if you compare with the fluorescent or the compact tubes. Then we have a higher version called R155 that also goes from 800 up to 2100 lumen light output. This is designed for thicker ceilings as the fire ceilings when you are talking about 52 millimeter thick ceiling. So that is the B15. For instance, Norax Daco has these types of ceilings, very much used for oil and gas. What is the benefit with the DL60 now? We have a lot of sales arguments, very good sales arguments in fact. We have IP55 versions under the ceiling. That means that you can in fact use these downlights inside the shower, inside the baths for instance. We are fulfilling the heat demands for marine, and inside the norms for marines, as the NEC and ISE norms, it stands in fact that the equipment value for the ambient temperature is 45 degrees Celsius. And that means inside, even in the cabins, inside the vessels. So it should be designed for 45 degrees ambient temperature, these downlights. And all are designed for that one. That means also something when you're talking about lifetime. If you compare with a version that you buy with 25 degrees ambient temperature approval, it has less lifetime compared with the 45 degrees ambient temperature design. Vibration, it has also to have a design that fulfills the norms also regarding the vibration. So we are testing that it's not falling out, and if you are driving on board the vessels, the thrusters and so forth, and you have heavy seas, then you also have huge forces, and that they are cracking the downlights if they are not designed to tolerate these vibrations. So in fact you can see vessels where the downlights has been falling out of the ceiling plates because of this. Not our designs, but all the competitors. We are fulfilling 5 years warranty, and that's also a heavy statement for the vessels. It's a good sales argument. We have, as I said, 5 different designs with a lot of different lumen packages, fulfilling most of the demands on board the vessels. When you are talking about with the ship owners, they are a little bit keen about energy saving, and the most energy saving part we have is when you are talking about halogen, comparing with the halogen. We are saving up to 80% compared with the halogen light sources. They are also talking about light quality. They want to have a reduced glare. And we have a design, if you look up in the downlights we have, it's not so very glary. And that's a topic they have. And they also want to have a homogeneous light output. That means that they don't want to have dots when you're looking at the tables and so forth. Or if you place it against a wall, you will see some downlights creating dots and black shadows. They don't want to have that. They want to have a clean light level all over. And that we have solved with our light technique. And that has been a huge job to do. It has the demand also, we have a good color rendering, CRI. We have different color temperatures. We have been placing 3000 and 4000 Kelvin. So what you find inside our assortment is mostly 3000 Kelvin, but you can also get 4000 Kelvin. That's also a standard we have. When you look at the light distribution, we decided early that we wanted to have the similar light distribution curves as a Casa Marine had, or the halogen DL100, DL90. So we have the similar light distribution. That means that you also don't have so huge difference between the old and new installation. So you can in fact place a DL60 RF into a similar place as the Casa Marine stands, and you don't hardly see the difference in the light output. We have focused on easy installation, plug and play. That means easy to change the whole fitting, very easy to change the driver. So plug and play, what we mean with that? We mean quick connectors. We have the Ensto, we have the Vago, and we also have a system we have started to sell in Norway that called the Linek. It's also coming more in Europe. That's a universal quick connector adapter system. We have a sales argument called also that we are delivering with dust cover. So the DL60 R92 and R108, no, R92 and RF and R155 is delivered with a dust cover. That means you protect it under the building period at the yards. So the last thing you are doing is removing out this dust protecting part. This is a plastic film, stands in the front. So when you are doing the building, you can have the lighting going on, but you only take away this dust cover protector when it's finished the vessel. So you don't fill the whole downlight with dust during the building period. We have designed it to fit the thicknesses on the ceilings from 0.6 up to 52 millimeters. That means from the thinnest M300 ceilings up to the Norak B500 ceilings, for instance. We have also launched an adapter in a way that you can put in the front, so you can reduce the ceiling height inside the ceiling if you have a collision when you're putting it up with a pipe or a beam that is not space enough. Then you can build the downlight down a little bit and reduce the height inside the ceiling with this distance ring that you can place in the front of the downlight. That's accessories that you can buy. We are, as I said earlier, we have designed this fitting for marine. So that means that we are talking about NEMCO marine approval. And we have approvals for the 45 degrees ambient temperature at the most of the variants. It's some of the variants that has a less maximum ambient temperature, and that is caused to the very high light output and a very much low power consumption. But mostly you are selling with a 45 degrees ambient temperature approved fittings. We have also one other benefit is the DNV certificate that we also shows the B0, B15 fire classification. So we have been testing these fittings into the fire ceilings. So we know that they are operating. The picture here shows the different settings. This is from the cruise vessel. This is from a beach area where you can use the DL60. And when you come to the beach, we can share something with you that we have also different options with the light settings. You have, when you are in the harbor, you want to have a more ordinary daylight inside, so you're turning the maximum white light out. But when you are out in operation, you want to have red night light. That means that they have a combination with both the red and the white light. So they turn off the white light and they have the red light during the operation time. And the red light is controlled by a dimming system, so they can adjust it up and down to the correct level they want to have at the beach. So the one we are selling very much so is the DL60 RF155. That is designed for limited space over the ceiling. That means this distance here. When you put it up, you need, it's not much distance between the ceiling plates and the beams on board the vessels. Especially for the cruise, they have a limited space over the ceiling plates. They are trying to reduce the height as maximum, so they want to have it, the downlights as flatter as possible. So what we have is the RF155 that replaced the Casa Marine 1 TC 18 watt with the 800 lumen output. That is in fact the most sold we have on the DL60 RF type. We have also been selling the RF155 1100 lumen that replace 2 TC 18 watt, 1 TC 26 watt, and also the TC 32 watt that we have been delivering also several of, but mostly we are here because you want to have a more homogeneous light, and the height of the vessel from the floor to the ceiling is limited. So as more you're putting lumen package inside, as more glare it will be light dots in the corridors, for instance. So they prefer to have the 18 watt replacement, the 800 lumen. Yeah, and then we have also this 2100 lumen, and as I said, we have 35 degrees ambient temperature on that one. That's a lot of light. That's the meaning with this 2100 lumen is when you have the staircases, for instance, with very high ceiling heights, then you can use it. What we have also been hiding a little bit, as I mentioned earlier, is that we have different reflectors. We have the faceted reflector, as you see here. It's a facet pattern. And the meaning with the faceted is that it takes a lot of the glare away, but it also sends the light out. So it's not so, it's a very good light output from this one, and it's not so much glary. And then we have a silver reflector for the R and RF 155. That gives the maximum light output, but that's a little bit more glary, so it's not so very nice to look at. And then we have a silver matte reflector that is even better compared with the silver faceted if you look at the glare, but it gives less light output compared with the silver faceted. So we are mostly selling this one. Sometimes when the customers are discussing the topic is too glary, they go down to this silver matte reflector. But we have also decors that you can add to take even the glare even more down. So we will come back on the decors also. We have also launched the DL60 RF and R155 with emergency. That means that you can get it 1 or 3 of emergency packages built into the fitting. That's you also find, of course, documented inside the web and the OptiWin. We have also launched the RF155 and R155 with night light or UPS. On the cruise vessels, they are using more and more UPS systems instead of built-in batteries, emergency. So they want to have a UPS version that runs with a less light output compared in the ordinary main powered running. So what they are doing here is they want to have a UPS or they want to have a nightlight. And the nightlight is for inside the cabin, for instance, where you need to, when you are waking up and you need to find your way to the toilet, you have a very low light output from the downlights. So it gives about, 10 lux under the downlights, but it's enough that you can find your way to the toilets or out of the cabin. That's what we call the nightlight. And I don't want to mention so much what they are calling that in the cruise business, but there's a common word. They call it the P-light. It's a very brutal word. But the meaning is that you are waking up, it's not going to be too much light in the cabin, you are finding your way to the toilet, and you are going back again and falling easy into sleep again, without be waking with the maximum light output if you turn the main light on. Then we have the R155. We designed that one for the oil and gas mostly. Is to cover the 52 millimeter thick ceilings. So you need a distance here and up that you can get it into the 52 millimeter thick ceiling. That is the alternative for the high castles. We had the 95, we called it earlier. So this is used much in the fire ceilings. Fire ceilings you are using in some of the cabins, you are using them in the corridors and so forth. We have the same light output as we have for the R155. That means it comes from 800 lumen up to 2100 lumen. Mostly we are selling 800 lumen. Okay. Same here. We have also with the emergency the R155, and we have also with the nightlight and UPS. And the same reflector systems as the RF155. The silver faceted, the silver, and the silver matte. And here you see a picture showing plug-and-play concept. So this is in and out, and this is for the UPS. Then we also made a R92. We wanted to have a halogen replacement. And this design is fixed. That means that you are not possible to adjust the lights. If you want to have adjustable, then we are talking about the R108. So let's go to the R92 first. We have with 500 and 700 lumen system output. That means that this one is replacing from 20 to 50 watt halogen. That means the 700 is about against a 50 watt halogen. As I stated earlier, it's up to 80% energy saving here. We have two different light curves out. We have 12 and 36 degrees. And we have on this one a silver faceted reflector. We have also here both 830 and 430. That means 4000 and 3000 Kelvin. We have done something with the LED module inside. As we have a picture here. You see that we have an inner diffuser here on the R92 that is hiding a little bit of the LED module because the response, they don't want to look up in the downlight and see the yellow when it's turned off. But it's a design element that we have been placing here, but it's also protecting if you have in the public areas that people are not putting their fingers directly up in the LEDs. So we have a protection here also in the back. You see the cutout is 92 millimeters. That means that it's the same cutout as the DR90, as we call it, earlier had. So that means that you can in fact put this downlight in a retrofit situation up against the DL90 where it's installed. Let's see. This R92 is for maximum seal thickness 25 millimeters. That means that this can't go over 25 millimeters. So it's limited. And that's also stated inside our web, maximum sealing thicknesses, because if you look at the dimension drawing here, you can begin to think, oh, I can cover 44 millimeters. But that's not possible. When you are putting it up through this hole, you need to tilt it a little bit up, then you have a lack of distance. So when you have maximum 25 millimeters, then you are able to go get it up in the ceiling. If you have less, it's even better, but 25 millimeters is a limitation. We have the suspension arms that I didn't mention the RF either. So we have suspension arms that is adjusted by torque screws. That means that you have bits enclosed for each fitting that you can put up into the screws and easily adjust the height. What we are not showing so much here is that at all our downlights you have also a possibility for alternative fixing without these suspension arms as these ones, that you can place holes through the ring under. So this is a screw suspension that you can fix into the ceiling also, as you see here. You see here, this is one of our downlights. You can place 3 screws up in the ceiling and you can fix it to the ceiling plates. That's an alternative suspension system we have also. You don't need to use it, but that's alternative if you don't want to have these suspension arms working. Then we made a fourth member, the DL60 R92 high one, that fits for the Norak ceilings, for the 52 millimeter ceilings, thick ones. It has the same lumen packages and the reflectors as the R92 ordinary. And this has the same mountings as this one. The only thing here is that you have more space between here and there, so you can get it up in the 52 millimeter high ceiling. We have been selling also some of these ones also, mostly for oil and gas as I've seen, but it's coming more and more. Let's see. Then we launched the fifth member of the DL60, the R108. And that is more a design, very much design have we been working with here. So we are going to replace the DL100, that is, we have adjustable. So we have to make an adjustable downlight that you can tilt and adjust, so we can have the light on the walls, and you can turn it around, and you can adjust the light where you want to have it. For instance, in the dining area, some more house vessels, they are changing also sometimes the table setting. So they are adjusting the table layout, and then they also need to adjust these downlights to have the right lights in the right angles against the tables. So we have made this one with a 500, 700, and that replaced 20 to 50 watt halogen. But we also made a 900 lumen for the special light settings. It's a lot of light. Mostly we are selling 700 lumen that replaced the 50 watt halogen. That's the most sold of the DL60 R108. We have that also in 3000, 4000 Kelvin. We have continued with the 12 degrees and 36 degrees reflectors. We see clearly that we are selling mostly 36 degrees. That's mostly what they are using on board. If you want to have a narrow beam, you can use the 12 degrees for special light settings. On the R108 we are using Cree modules, and we are also using a PC reflector in front of the diffuser, as you can maybe see on these pictures here. We are also going to add inner diffuser over the LED module, because when you're out visiting the customers, they look at the downlight when it's not light on, and they look at the yellow thing inside, and they don't want to see it. So we will have a white inner diffuser also, so it hide this LED module even more, so you don't see the orange thing inside. So that will come because we are now also updating our LED modules, so we get more light output also. So then we can have this inner diffuser, so it's not going too much down in light output. That's the most important for us. Here you can see an example of what we are talking about when we are speaking about homogeneous light. You see the light is, this is R108 against the wall. You see it's no shadows, it's not different patterns. If you look at some competitors, you will see they have shadow rings. And if you take a halogen lamp, you will see shadows rings against the wall. Now you see it's very homogeneous light without any shadow patterns and so forth. So it's very uniform light distribution, and the customer prefer to have this compared with the old halogens. That has been a design criteria. They want to have a better light distribution compared with the old times. We deliver our downlights with analog dimming. We have also phase dimming or DALI on request, because DALI is mostly now in the systems. You will find DALI dimmings. The phase cut dimming, you are when you're entering retrofits, they are asking for phase cut dimming, and they will ask a lot of different demands. So that has to be discussed for each time. Of course, that is a limitation against the old dimming systems and the new LED drivers and how they are working together. It's not the easy fix to have a phase cut dimming retrofit. That's an issue we are working very hard to find a solution on, but we don't have it yet. On a new installation, phase cut dimming, that's not the problem. It's on the retrofit. That's we have a challenge, but everyone has a challenge there. There's no one's have a fitting that works against this old phase cut dimming system they had for about 15 years ago. So when you're talking about the R108 adjustable, you see we have a combination here. We can adjust it vertical, 25 degrees angle, plus minus. But we have also the option that we can adjust it horizontal. And that's not so many in the markets that can do that. So that means that first you can adjust it, and then you can begin to move the light distribution where you want to have it on the floor without trying to adjust the whole downlight. If you look at some of the competitors, they are fixed in the ceiling, so you have to turn around the whole downlight if you want to adjust it in the horizontal plane. So that's a benefit we have of the R108 compared with the competitors. There are also one other benefit we built into it, is that we have locking screws. So when you are finished adjusting it, you have also an option that you can lock it totally, the whole downlight, so it's not possible to adjust it. And that option is for the public areas, especially, where people can put their hands on it and begin to move the downlight, so you are destroying the light settings. Or also in the areas, as the dining areas, where they are cleaning the ceilings. And when they're cleaning the ceilings, they also adjust the downlights and delete the light settings, so you have to do all the light settings afterwards again. So when you have the locking systems as we have, it's not possible to destroy the light settings, so we don't need to do a new job again. One other option we had the R108 is that we have IP40 under the ceiling. That's the design. But you have a possible to upgrade it to IP44. So that means at each downlight you have an enclosure. So it's possible to upgrade where you are mounting it at the site to IP44 if you have that need for a bathroom, for instance. I mentioned for the R108 we have a cutout for 108 millimeters. That's the same cutout as the Høvik DL100 that we have been supplying 10,000s of. So it's a lot of this DL100 out there. That's why we made a design that is also fitting for the old fittings that are going to be moved out. The design is for the maximum thickness for 35 millimeters for the R108. So that means for the adjustable, you have a limitation up to 35 millimeters. When we designed it, we had to look at R108. That is a design fitting, very much, because here you see when you are tilting it down, you need to have the same as the trims. A good look. And if you order with a DL1 R108 with a chrome trim, you also get the heatsink with the chrome. So it looks very nice designs compared with if you look at some other competitors that has chrome trim and they have a white painted heatsink, for instance. That looks a little bit strange when you are tilting it out from the ceiling. It looks not nice at all. So we have the heatsink in the chrome, we have the heatsink in the brass, and the trim in brass, and then we have a white painted and white trim. So we have three options here. We are also working with this with the Nemco Marine. It's just around the corner after I heard the last results was coming up. We have a NEC approval already on it, but the Nemco Marine approval is according to the DNV norms. That means vibration, EMC, and so forth, and heat. So we have this 500-700 light output. It's approved for 45 degrees ambient temperature. And then we have this special version with 900 lumen for very special light settings. Where you want to have a lot of lights, they are using some of these lights in the bar area and for the cruise vessels, for instance. It's not a high number selling, it's a special light setting. That is only approved for 25 degrees because it's a lot of heat inside there. I was touching the quick connectors. As I said, we have this ends-to-neck system. It's very much sold for the vessels. They have their own ends-to-marine division, so they are selling much into the marine business, these quick connectors. So a lot of vessels has ends-to on board. So that means these type of systems as this one, plug and play. We have also the Vago MIDI that we're also using, that you also can buy, or a Linux system as this one. Yeah. There are different quick connectors, of course. You have, for instance, quick connectors for the dimming, and you have for a dolly, for instance, then you need to have a 5-pole quick connectors if you have analog also. So if you have a phase cut dimming, is not more than 3 poles, and so forth. So there are different quick connector types from Ensto and Volvo. It also is, of course, possible to get other quick connectors. We are mostly selling with quick connectors. That we clearly see that the main volumes are with quick connectors. You can buy these downlights without quick connectors, as this one. Then you have only opening it, and you have push in terminal block inside. You can take it out. You have a maximum cable diameter for 12 millimeters. You have a cord anchorage that is built in so that you can put over the cables. It's more installation work, and you need to be an installer to do this one when you are putting the wires in. But that is the cheapest alternative we have. So quick connectors cost money. So you can also order without quick connectors. It's also designed, when you are not talking about quick connectors, we also have a design for these ones that RF and R155, that you can have a pipe, this plastic pipes you have into the installations. So with the cables inside the plastic pipes. So it can take a plastic pipes 16 millimeters that can be integrated to the main body. Then we have the decors. We have the IP55 decors. And they are for the batch, for instance. So you put it under, it's a trim with a integrated plastic plate in front. So you can buy it in clear, opaque, or red. As I was talking about the night light, we are using the red ones for the beach areas. We are using the opaque into shower areas and also the clear ones. Then we have also launched a new decor that is called the hollow decor with white chrome or brass trim, as this one. This gives them more in the launch areas and so forth. Gives a very much more pleasant light. It's not the more, then you are speaking about the more design decor. And we are also launched something we call the glare control for the RF155. That is possible to click it up into the reflector and take away a lot of the glare. That's also an option that you will find inside our web. And for where you have special areas as control rooms and so forth, that can be an option. Then we have, of course, all this decors when we started launching it. It's a lot of decors, so as you know, it's a brass, chrome, and white trims, and we have also these steel trims from the Casa Marines with adapters that you can order. And if you have a retrofit situation, you can in fact buy a retrofit situation with the Casa Marines. You can use up these old trims you had on the Casa Marines with buying an adapter that fits into the old trims and put them up again. That's a benefit, because then you get a lower price on the fitting, but also you can use up the old trims and you don't get any shadow patterns up in the ceiling, because the old Casa Marines has a wider diameter on the trims. So when you take it down and put a new one, for instance with a new design trim as this one we have today at the DL60 with this is a chrome plastic compared with the metallic. This is a slimmer diameter. This is a much wider diameter. That means that when you're taking it down on a retrofit situation and put up a downlight with this one, you will see with a slimmer diameter, you will see a white shadow between the old and the new where it's standing in the ceiling. You have also different decors, and it will come even more and more. We are adding more and more coming, so it will come more decors. Yeah, that's DL60 mounting inside the ceiling. That stands inside the service manuals also. So how max in height you need inside the ceiling. That's you need to put up the downlight, and the hose needs some space. So that's why we have also inside the service manual stating what kind of maximum ceiling thickness you can have and needed height over it. So that can be a topic when you have a very low ceiling height. You need to maybe know how much space is inside. This is the marketing part. That's the most recent thing here. As you will find at the web, we have the leaflets. The last leaflet we made for DL60 was a focus on the R108, the adjustable one. We have also inside our catalog for commercial marine, cruise and ferry, the DL60s updated. If you go into the web, you find also inside the web all the code numbers and so forth with accessories. You also find the service manuals and certificates at the web pages. And you also find the manual catalog pages inside the web. That means that you can find what stands inside the catalogs, the main catalogs. So you have a better overview of all code numbers and a general description of all things. And of course you also find these fittings inside the OptiWin. I think it was a long talk. Shall we end there?
Yes, Ole. I think time went fast. Anyway, it's a lot of information, but we need the time also. It's a lot of information to cover. So there are one or two questions that came up, and it's still for all of you open to sending questions now, either on the chat or as a question if you have direct questions to this product or to this presentation. So while you think about something to ask for, I can take those that came up actually, and that was regarding this presentation. If anyone can get hold of that, and for sure, you just need to contact your sales representative, and he will be happy to email this out to you directly if you want. And then again, this webinar as such is also recorded now. And you will get automatic access to that in a separate email that comes out, I guess, tomorrow or something. The system is sending it out for us. So that was that one. Then, Ole, there came a question that was actually linked to all the different lumen packs. Why? Really, why do we have so many different lumen packs, say, even within the same dimension, goes all the way from, say, from 800 lumens and up to, I don't know, was it 2,100 at the same fitting? Why is it so? Why do we really need this?
Yeah, that has to do with the light settings, and as I said, 800 lumen is what replacing 18 watt fluorescent. So that has been the main runner. If you look at the fluorescent compact tubes, it has been only 18 watt. 1 times 18 watt, that's you find everywhere. But sometimes they have been using downlights earlier with the fluorescent, that they are with 2 times 18 watt, 1 times 13 watt, 1 times 32 watts, and want to have more light out of these fittings for the light settings, where they have different other demands. And when you're looking at the consultants, they are more and more looking at the old times light settings. They want to have the same light settings as earlier. So they want to have what they had earlier compared with the lumen package and the light output. So the main runner is 800, but still they want to have some settings with more light, where they have more distance between the ceiling, and also sometimes they want to have more light, brighter light, and a reduced number of downlights. You can, of course, when you're increasing the downlights light output, it can be reduced number of the downlights also.
Yes, good. And I guess by playing around in Optivin also you can get various options coming up. Ole, then there came in 2 or 3 more questions here. If you go to the slide where you have the emergency, where you showed the variant with emergency, there was a question that how do we fix the emergency? Just wait until you have that one.
Yeah, coming there. There we see some, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
Yeah, the question was, do we fix the emergency batteries when they are included, or we just lay them loose over the ceiling panel?
You have a possibility to fix it because on this box here, you have 2 fixing holes here. You don't see it so very clearly here, but you see this little bit rounded here and a little bit rounded there. It's possible to fix it inside the ceiling, but of course you need a service jack. So mainly you are on the different vessels that has to do. You can fix it or you cannot fix it. That's up to the customers.
Okay, but there is an option to fix it, and we are prepared for that. But you don't have to do it. That's what you say.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you see in here. There's a little bit hole in the bottom here.
Yeah.
For the placing. Yep.
The next question, Ole, was related to the red light on the bridge. Is this now? Perhaps you can repeat that very, very fast, and then if that's also available for the and if this is available for all DL60 versions.
Yeah, I can repeat it. The red light front diffuser is available for all downlights except R108. We are working with the idea, so we will maybe also have R108 with a red inner diffuser. So it's something coming also there.
Yeah. The adjustability for the red light, that's then controlled with a standard dimmer dimming system then, because it's a front diffuser that is red. It's not the LED itself.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a front diffuser, so you dim it down and up afterward, much like you want to have to this diffuser, of course. So that's. But I can also mention that it's mostly R92 and that is solved with this red light that they are using.
Yeah. Then the last question that came in now is if we have color options with LEDs, not with diffusers, like red light for the wheelhouse and blue light for the galley and laundry.
RGB, as I call it. Yeah, I understand that. And no, we don't have it, and we have not on the agenda to do it either. It's a very costly thing to do, and then we need also to have special LED modules, and so that's not on our agenda to do today. Maybe in the future, but not on the agenda today.
No, not as a standard solution at least. Of course, for bigger projects, it might be looked into, but then on request. Yes, I think that was the last question that came up from the audience. Then, if there is no one more, then I dare to say thank you very much, Ole, and thank you for joining in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being interested in our new products, and we hope to see you all soon. Or at least you will hear from us again with product presentations very soon. Thank you very much to all of you. Bye-bye.